Happy Tuesday, we're back on the couch. I'm doing a lot better this week, and despite what I said last week about getting the office done this week, it's a development week this week. I've just kind of decided to take a break from the office for a little bit, because I want to get my teeth, back into coding. I've been saying that so much, but, I want to get my teeth back into development, and I have 3 projects underway right now. I have to do some background work for the mystery project that'll be announced at some point this year, hopefully. Rose's Garden I want to do some sprite work on, but I also really want to get my hands on that cooking UI and get that all settled this week, because if I can get the cooking implemented, then I can start moving outside of the kitchen, which my brain's already wandering to. I started working on the shopping district, and I realized that I want to change up the color palette again. We're still pretty early on in a lot of the design elements, so it's not like I have to change 50 different backgrounds. Right now I only have to change 3 if I tweak the colors. 4 unofficially, just because I have that shopping district. But I was finding that right now the colors are really red focused, and it just kind of muddles the design and blends it together. So I want to get some more contrast in. Everything's just so samey right now that I need a visual break in there. Shopping district, just because want to get that background practice in. I struggle with backgrounds, I hate doing backgrounds, and I want to get better at them. So it's what's the best way to do that? We practice, we do more. That's later this week. Today's focus, however, is going to be the Byte Fiends demo, which has been getting a major overhaul. We switched it over to pixel art. I did the character stills and sent them off to Liz. Liz has been animating them, and we're hoping to just give the game a bit more of a new feel, try to get some more game elements in there. Right now we have a functional enough demo where you can play the mini games and have that all work. The only issue is I have to fix up the animation state machine. I don't understand what past Max did. Well, I do. I know that she hard-coded in her max frame values for the animations. The only issue with that is not everything has the same max frame rate. No, max frame value. Max frame rate, Jesus. Yeah, 30 SPF. FPS, not SPF. It's not sunscreen. It's a morning. Okay, we're gonna go through. I'm thinking the fix is just gonna be taking the max frame from whatever the current sprite index is and then dividing that by 3. And then I'll just have it where the phases multiply it to get the max frame rate, and it's gonna be a bit of a clusterfuck. But it'll be more efficient than the current clusterfuck. I shouldn't need as many if this, if this, if this. It should just be straightforward with one line to cover everything, and then I'll have something special for the dance minigames when you press the directional keys. Is my hope. Okay, I hate the fact that I'm having to record my entire screen and I can't just do the window, but apparently GameMaker doesn't want to show up in OBS. So here we are. The absolute shit show that is the animation. I have a max frame in here. I don't know if I want to keep it though. So, now that I'm coding in front of the camera, I'm just I don't know what I'm doing. I've never coded in my life. If I do image number divided by 3, okay, you know what? Let's just brain map it out. So we need to get the max frame. Get starting frame, and then we need to catch before moving past last frame, and then we need the dance keys. Actually, we'll come back to that. So this should be max frame equals image number divided by 3 times phase. Now, my one worry with that. Okay, so I do have it set to 0, 1, 2. Yeah, that should be good. So that'll be that. And then our starting should be, why don't we do Okay, quickly getting through this. Byte Fiends is in a playable state in the sense of the minigames are now completely functional. Well, it's just the various animations. The only thing that's missing right now is the ball fall animation for if you mess up on the ball minigame. But otherwise, you can flip between the faces of Tio. We're gonna pop over. First minigame here is the eating minigame, right? You have 3 options for food. There's 3 rounds. You pick it, you get your points. You move on. It's fantastic. Tio gets fed. Whether that's a good idea or not is up for you to decide. Moving on, we have the play minigame, which is just a basic ball bounce. You go, you get hit with the ball. It's fantastic. Everyone has fun. You drop the ball, Tio gets sad. Nothing else really happens right now because I haven't put that in yet. If you click on the buttons when he doesn't want to do something, it'll just play the little animation like it did in the previous game. Tio's food choices will update depending on what phase he's in. Can I get the dance minigame, please? There we go, Tio. Put him back to normal Tio for this. Dance minigame. Might speed this up a little bit. Still playing around with the speeds and stuff on it. Like, I've never done this particular type of minigame, but it works. I want to get some more, like, flashy elements going. Add some, like, major game juice to it, you know? Have fun with it. Have it just be a bit more than just slowly watching arrows move across the screen randomly and responding to it. There's 9 notes that you have to hit. It's probably not going to be synced up with the music just because I'm not devoting myself to that type of nightmare. Tio has his little dark mode that will also dance. You could just spam the keys, honestly. No penalties right now for pressing the wrong key. I'm not sure if I will add them in. I know Liz found that it's a younger demographic that ended up liking the game, and so I might just keep it on the simpler side for the kiddos. Who knows? I'll run this by Liz later, and I'm gonna just start brainstorming flashy shit to spew across the screen. So yeah, there's the updated Byte Fiends. Happy Wednesday, we're back in the dining room. I've got my ginger ale ready to code today, and Lulu's here with us. We're gonna do some work on the Rose's Garden mini games. Small update from yesterday, I did some more work on Byte Fiends after I did my filming. It's just setting up the title screen and the character select screen and trying to get a feel for those and how they're gonna work out, as well as trying to figure out a save and load system. I'm gonna run it by Simone later this week because I've been having some issues where it crashes if you try saving a second time. So I'm gonna just show him what I've got and see what I can improve upon. While I'm sat here, actually, speaking of soup, excuse me, Mickey. I know you were still comfy. We went to Walmart on the weekend and they had this bad boy. It's a hot pot on clearance for like 60 bucks. And I've been debating getting one for a while because I used to go to a hot pot place all the time when I lived in the apartment. I like hot pot. I like doing it with friends, and I think this is gonna work out for feeding a few more people than like getting a restaurant portion. Obviously still love the restaurant, it's one of my favorite places, but this'll be nice for get-togethers. Yeah. My goal is to use this at least 3 times, and then I'll feel that I've gotten my money's worth from it. So I have to plan 3 different hot pot occasions. I wanna do a spicy and a non-spicy broth just because some of our friends don't like spicy foods. Yeah, I'd rather the bone broth over like anything done with a meat or fat base just for the sake of hot pot. Like bone broth, I'd be so happy. I'm getting sidetracked. Soup, it's irrelevant. It's relevant because Rose's Garden. Right. Yesterday I was brainstorming with Liz as I was working on Byte Fiends for Rose's Garden because, you know, when ideas pop up, they just pop up and you kind of let them out. And something I thought could be cute is when you interact with the NPCs, I kind of like the idea of if you have a certain soup in your inventory and it's one of the NPC's favorites, they'll notice it and be like, hey, like, what smells good? And then you can kind of just whip out the soup and be like, oh, like I made your favorite soup. And then you can share it with them. as like a little like gift event, bonus gift event for the week. So you'll be able to give them like 2 gifts a week, but then you'll also be able to like share a soup with them once per week as like a little bonus to your friendships. I just think it'll be like cute, and it'll get people more invested in the gift giving system because like the characters are making a call towards it as well. You'll figure out what they like because they'll make that verbal call and acknowledge it. It's like if a friend comes over and they're like, hey, like what smells so good? And it's like, oh, I have dinner on. It's just, yeah, you're going out into the world with soup to lure in friends. Yeah. You need to be able to make that soup. I haven't done any of the ingredient sprites, so it'll be something. We'll be working with the old sprites for now, but I think it'll turn out good. I hope it'll turn out good. So coming into the kitchen, I think the first things that we need to address is like where we're going to be clicking on things to trigger them for the mini games. 6 colliders just to trigger the certain mini games, and then I have completely forgotten that I need a recipe book. So we'll also get that added in. Okay, I guess this means it's time to move on to the coding side of things. Woo! I'm in the truck with Liz. We're headed off to Cora's to get, I guess it's lunch at this point. We're getting lunch though. Liz was like, I really want Cora's, and I'm like, I really don't want to be coding right now, so that sounds fan-fucking-tastic. Things are going good. It's just recording while coding is apparently really stressful and just not something I'm mentally ready to do yet, because like staring at a sped up screen isn't that entertaining, and I kind of wish like I had more to say while coding, but I'm so in the process that like my brain's just not wording. So we're gonna see. I might just start doing recorded segments from when I do my test runs in the program rather than showing my actual code for it, and then like maybe if people want to see the code we'll do like a review afterwards. But for now I'm thinking it's just gonna be like I do stuff, I run the update to see how it looks, I'll record it, and then I'll just get Char to compile those in. So yeah, chorus first, then we'll get back to the mini games. Okay, so just a quick little check-in for where we're at with the cutting board. So right now, it'll generate everything, and whoop, we can run through it 3 times, and it'll close out. So all that I really need to do now is have it where it'll register differently what direction you're going towards based on which way the arrow's facing. And I'd like to get a vertical dragging in there as well. I have it now where it'll change directions based on the arrows as well. You won't be frozen once the mini game is complete. I just need to add in the vertical rolls, and then yeah, I think we're gonna move on to either the blender or getting that recipe book in there, because I'm thinking we're going to have little pop-ups that appear over the stations where you need to do it, and it would make sense to do the recipe book first. It's just so, as you can see, the cookbook's now in the background. I have to do the code for getting that set up. I got a little sidetracked. I'm working on a background right now for the cutting board minigame, and I'm liking the sized up background. Like, obviously it needs to be a little bit bigger just so there's not this gap around it, but I'm also thinking I might just do a dark overlay in the back. I was debating before like drawing the background like cupboards and stuff, but I think keeping it simple with just like a dark overlay may look nice and may work pretty well for our purposes. So yeah, we're gonna give that a try, and then yeah, probably gonna move on to mini games. I gave the cookbook some more thought, and that's just a lot of layout, and I think it's gonna be easier once I have the recipes and steps more concise and figure out, so I know what system I want to go forward with for it. I have to give it more thought and more layout, whereas the mini games, I already know what I'm doing, so we're gonna focus on those. Okay, so just real quick before I move on to the blender mini game, here is the final look at the cutting board minigame. It's cute, it's simple, it's not over-the-top UI, but I think for our purposes right now, and at least for like testing and stuff, it'll be fine. I can go in and add more details later, but right now it works, it does what it needs to, and I think I'm gonna just not do the vertical dragging, just because there's not the same amount of space to have that arrow and the bar neatly. So I think side to side to now will just be our go-to, and we'll work with that. So yeah, that's done. We're gonna move on to the blender, and after that I'm just gonna say it's done for the night because I have to go start dinner. And the blender hopefully should be easy enough since it's just reusing code that I did for Byte Fiends this week. I've decided against having the repeat the pattern on the screen, and instead I'm deciding to just go with a slow moving arrow, and you have to input at the correct times in order to match it. So yeah, we'll get on with that, and then yeah, meatball time. I was worried we weren't gonna have enough, but like honestly, I think we're fine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright, last little update for Wednesday. We now have the Blender minigame up and working. I have to do some tweaks to it still. The arrows right now don't properly align with the arrows at the top, which bugs me just a little bit, but it's an easy enough tweak to do. I'll just go in and adjust that. But for the time being, it's functional enough that we know what this minigame in particular would look like, and I can move on to the next one comfortably, but that will have to be a Thursday, Friday problem, possibly even the weekend, just depending on how the rest of the week goes. Tomorrow is going to be a busy day. I'm going out to meet up with a friend for lunch, and I don't know what time I'll be getting back home. So at least for now, we have 2 of the 6. That is the 3rd done. And yeah, like, worst case scenario, we'll just plan out the cookbook, and I'll have the minigames all ready to go by Monday, and yeah, we'll be able to move on from the kitchen to the other areas. Probably the sprite work that I wanted to get done this week. We'll just push that off to next week and work on things then. Happy Thursday. I just started my morning by opening up GameMaker and the program crashed, so that is a sign from the universe that this morning is not going to be a game morning. I have to do some more work on the minigame UI, but if my laptop's telling me that I need to take a break by just refusing to operate, I'm not one to argue with it, so we're gonna just leave that be for today. I have to go out today anyways, so we'll see what this day holds for content, because I'm not sure at this point, but
I remembered my headphones today, so this is gonna be great. I can just vibe with the music. I don't know if I'm gonna keep my microphone on. I'll keep it on. That way, like, if there's anything that Char deems important that I've said, I can just pop that in. Oh, hold on, wait. I just want to listen to the Rambly review on loop. No, where the fuck did I put it? Is it minigames? Yes, minigame background. We're 76 by 42. So if I create, we're gonna create, cook. I have to overhaul so many of these. I think, well, where
for colors. Oh, actually, fuck, the cookbook's green, isn't it? 76 divided by 2 is 35 plus 3, 38. Okay, so that's our cookbook menu. And losing track of all my shit again. Here, Sprite, and draw. If cooking, draw Sprite. Okay, so that's then hide cookbook. 4.3. That's such an awkward number, but sure. You can take me high. Perfect. Okay, we just gotta change the depth on that, and I think I'm gonna change it to be center to the room. Do middle center. And I didn't maximize the code I'm working on because why would I? Alright, I'm gonna go for a little break, but before I do that, I just want to show where we're at with things and kind of express like changes I'm gonna be making before next Tuesday. I'll revisit it then. So here's the book. We have the arrows in place. We can toggle through the pages of the book. I'll have to create something that checks what the actual last number is. But for now, at the very least, it's functional. The arrow collision isn't perfect. I'm going to be going back through and fixing that up, as well as adding in a select for what type of soup you want to make. That is something that I completely overlooked. I could have the cook button appear on both pages, but I kind of like the one in the center. It feels cleaner, but having the separate ones would allow for less process for the players. So we'll see. I'll play around with how that looks visually, but in the meantime, I'm thinking you just click on the soup icon, the background turns green. Same with the items. It'll check if you have them in your inventory, and it'll turn green if you're able to make it. So all small, easy to make changes. Before I do the item verification though, I want to go through and update the item sprites for the inventory, so I have the ingredients that I need for this season, as well as doing the icons for the minigames, just so that way I'm able to code it where it's tracking properly and I can have an easier time visualizing with what's on the screen. So just small little tweaks to make to that. I'm not gonna bother filming me doing the item sprites. I think I'm just gonna do that while I'm hanging out with Simone today and have that be like my downtime from coding, and I'll take a break and maybe revisit this Monday and just enjoy my time tomorrow. But yes, that will be the process work for that, and once this is all taken care of, then we can have it where it starts creating the triggers on these minigames, and the minigames will start popping up with little alerts of this is the step you need to be working on, and we'll have it be a whole smooth run-through process. But that is not a today problem, for I have done my part, I have said my piece, and I'm gonna go have some lunch and just enjoy my time with my friends. So yeah. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching and following my development journey. This week was a bit of a clusterfuck. Videos were all over the place and not my normal recording schedule, but we made it through, and it's growing pains. We'll get better as time progresses. I'm still figuring out what I want to be showing in these, and so I think it's just going to be a lot of experimenting to find the right balance. Definitely this week's very code heavy, and I'm thinking we're going to try and tone that down to mix it in with some real life stuff, a bit more than at least what was shown this week, because yeah, this week's like super code heavy, so we'll sprinkle in a bit more and try to split it up. I might have it where there's 2 days dedicated to just life things and then 2 days dedicated to coding. Not a lot was going on this week, so very heavy coding focus, but we shall see how she goes. And until then, all of you take care, and I'll see you next time.